I mean, it's kind of a tale of us not having 4 good quarters, or even 3 good quarters. I thought we guarded pretty good the first half, especially the first 5 minutes of the game where we were trapping them and kind of turning them over. And then you start to rotate people in, and it's not the same thing. So then now we got to play zone a little bit. And I think that's what happened in the fourth quarter. We were kind of gassed. I always said the most important thing in I just know women's basketball. I don't know any other sport, but the most important thing for a women's basketball program is to have an athletic strength coach during the summer, and it's showing now. We can't finish a game, man. We tired. I asked some of them, "Are you this worst shape you ever been in?" Yes, sir. And so sometimes you can blame the kid for not putting out, and sometimes you can't. So we finally have one, but hopefully it's not a little too late. I thought we played good at times, and we just got to be a little bit more consistent and mature.
Who did y'all do better defensively in the first half?
Well, we trapped. They said they would run. They quit running the ball screen. They were running ball screen. It was my scout, so I saw that. And most of the time, our coaches don't like to gamble and trap and all. I do. I mean, I've been doing it for 20 years. I want to get up, and especially you saw how small 44 was. I knew we could give her trouble, and so that's what we did. We were trapping ball screens and rotating everybody on the same side of the ball. So we made steals. We made them play too fast. And then what they did the second quarter, he quit running the ball screens. He started running flex, and it kind of opened something up. Third quarter, same thing. He started running flex. So we decided in the fourth we were going to go to a zone. You can guard the flex in a 2-3 zone because you don't even really have to move. And they quit running that, and they started running their zone plays. And, they hit some shots. I mean, you look at the percentages, they shot 23% the first quarter, 20% the second quarter, and then third quarter 46, and then the fourth quarter 40. So they started to shoot the ball a little bit better. I think 7 kind of took over the game. I think, which and for me, I feel like we just kind of quit. We hadn't played ahead this year other than at Texas State, and just it's hard if you never did. It's hard to copy that in practice. It really is. You try to do situations, but that situation is always kind of hard to copy.
24 hit some threes that really
Yeah.
turned it around.
Yeah, I think so. And their best shooter, 0, didn't shoot it that well. That's one I was really worried about. 24, I want to say most of her points comes from, penetrating all that. So she just had a really good night, I think. And it happens, especially when you have the scout and well, don't worry about 24 out there. Make sure that you go. And then she hit some shots at the end of the game for them. But
what was the difference with the rebounding in the second half? Because at halftime, you guys were right there with them. Was it just the stamina? Was it?
Well, they still had 10 offensive rebounds. They had 10 offensive rebounds after half. That's a lot. You know what I mean? And 25 was just, these days, it's like it's a bully match. It's a wrestling match. They just push you underneath the goal. I thought we got pushed. We're not as strong as them, not as physical as them. And I thought the first half was very, very physical. The second half, they started calling, all kind of stuff. And I think that was the difference. The first half, I thought the 10 offensive rebounds, that's a lot. And I think they're 28th in the country in offensive rebounds. So that's what they do. They shoot it to go get it. So, I mean, that's their strength. And I mean, they got in their lineups, they probably got 6 or 7 seniors that have kind of played in the junior college ranks and stuff and played at a high level. So they, to me, they looked like they were a lot more mature than us.
From your vantage point during the final 5-minute stretch, what do you feel like you could have done maybe to help stop the bleeding some, to not make it be as treacherous as what it was there at the end?
I mean, when you have a quarterback that's rushing things and all that, I don't want to put a blame on just one person, but you need that point guard at that point. I kept trying to talk to Bianca about, you're the one that can control, slow down, and she just speeds up, and then got in foul trouble, fouls out, and then the freshman comes in, and I don't know if y'all can see, but we're playing too fast, and we're trying to slow it down, not to hold the ball, but to be able to slow down and not try to run over people. And it's just that's kind of what happened in the fourth quarter. When they got that 4-point lead, we thought it was over. I mean, I didn't. We can make some stops, but we didn't, and we missed some layups at the end. I mean, we missed some layups that could have get us to come back. But
what can y'all do to slow the pace down, whether it be in the first quarter or even all the way to 4?
Yeah. I think some of the offenses we have are made for that. You know, I think some of the things that we do, the ball screens and all that, handoffs, ball screens, high post passing stuff. I think all that stuff is called horns. All that stuff is really good. It's just the player that gets antsy. I don't know if y'all noticed, but in college basketball, there's no count when you're dribbling. You know, in high school, it's 5-second count and you closely guard it. In college, there's no. So it's to teach those kids to keep your dribble, not to try to dribble and beat them. Keep your dribble, because once you pick up your dribble, man, it's tough because they trapping and they doing all that. And I think that affected us too. You know, I think our group tries to hit the home run too much. You know, we see something down the thing, we take a chance, and you know, defense makes an adjustment. And I think those things happen. You know, pretty much in every game that we have, especially when we get tired, we start to make a lot of mistakes and stuff like that. You know, I mean, we just got to keep working. It's just that we're not there. You know, usually my teams, since I've been here, you know, by this time we get in conference, we're kind of ready to go. We're still fighting to, you know, to get better. You know, we're not where we need to be. Even though we did defend better today, I have to admit, other than the fourth quarter, I thought we did a better job.
Do you think by next month we'll be in the shape we need to be, or there's going to be fatigue?
You know, I think we can. I mean, we're gonna definitely. I mean, I know with Tamika and Casey, we're going to work, man. And we're gonna keep on working on what we need to work on. I see some things some closeouts that I don't know why we're running past shooters. It's something that I never taught. You know, we're still doing stuff that they learned elsewhere. And the problem is when you have 14 kids or 15 scholarships, you can pull those kids that ain't doing what they're supposed to do. We got 9 kids, you know. Nobody knows how good AP is. Patterson's good. Like, she's 6'1", and she can play at the guard position. She can shoot. She would be but again, you know, her foot's bothering. She ran yesterday. She's like All-American. You know, jumped this high. And, you know, it's returned to play. Like I tell you, I don't understand it. I mean, we used to just, when you get injured and you're ready to come, you come back. And so it's tough, you know, especially on the women's side. You're going to have some knick-knack stuff. I mean, it's part of Division I basketball. So I think that those things, there's so many factors that I could go on and on, but we just need to find solutions. You know, quit complaining about what the situation we're in and try to find solutions to win some games like we could have today.
How important is it, Coach, especially with the young team that's still trying to learn and you're still trying to teach them good habits, right? How important is it to keep the message and be positive moving forward and not let a young team get overly discouraged and let that kind of snowball?
Yeah, I mean, that's probably where, you know, maybe some of them are there, you know, especially the ones that didn't get to play a lot early on, you know. I think they get everybody gets discouraged when they lose, you know. And I always take I tell them every time in the locker room, every loss is on me. I'll take the loss. When y'all win, it's because y'all did what we needed to do. And so, you know, we try to stay positive in that, you know. And my thing too is like, I'm from here, and we're not the kind of people that are going to quit. I don't care what anybody says. We're going to keep on working, and at the end of the day, the results are going to be, hey, as best we can do. You know, I think that's coaching. You know, somebody that's coached. You know, I've never lost before, ever, not like this, but it's all right. It's a great lesson for me. You know, no matter what happens in the future, it's a great lesson for me as a person to grow.
Coach, what kind of brings that emotion to you in that moment right there?
No, you know, I think about my wife, and I think about what she would be saying right now. So, yeah, those things, people don't know when you're from somewhere. It's really, really hard when you're from somewhere and you come. How lucky am I to coach at the university that I went to, that I ran track for, that I loved, that affected my grandfather, that affected my dad, that affected my family. This university has done a lot for my family. So that was my main message to the girls. When we out there, it's not about winning and losing. It's how we represent the university, how we look in a huddle, how do we look getting on and off the floor, because the university is too important, you know. And I don't expect everybody to understand. Tamika's great at that. Tamika said, Coach, not everybody's like you. You know, I get really pissed off when I see a woman not for women's sports. It bugs and she's, Coach, everybody's got their own opinion and do what they want. I'm not like that. I'm a woman. I feel like because I coach it, I got to fight for it, you know. And it's difficult, you know. It's difficult in certain areas. In the South, it is, especially if you're a black woman. If you want me to be honest, it is tough, you know. And that's why I'm driven, is I'm here to help. I grew up in the area, and I've seen it, you know. And so we got kids from all over coming in and like, whoa, it's a little tough, you know. But we're gonna keep fighting, you know. I appreciate Matt. Matt's the positive one for us. He's always patting me on the back. It's gonna be all right, you know. I think he's about ready tired of saying that, but I appreciate that. And Kevin, but I really do appreciate y'all. I appreciate all of y'all, you know, even coming out to talk about us losing, you know, I think is important because it's a lesson. It's not like we just giving up. We're gonna keep on working and try to get them better, you know. And you know, the results that we come away with in a classroom, in a community, all those things are important, you know. We still got to win games.